Hello everyone. In this video, let's look at how to use the Evaluate feature in Modbus Monitor XPF application. This feature is very useful in the production when you want to pull the device and validate that the device is configured correctly. It can also be useful when you want to monitor values that goes out of range on the running system. We will show you how to set up this feature and cover both of these cases. Alright, let's get started. My setup include remote Modbus TCP server and Modbus TCP client running on Windows 11 desktop computer. This setup allow me to pull the remote server and validate received data against the limits set for each monitoring point. We will use default monitor map, but all these settings be loaded from saved CSV Modbus map file. The remote Modbus TCP device simulated by the Modbus Monitor XPF that has the server mode enabled. Another instance of the same application is used in the client mode to pull the server and evaluate the data for the proper range. Note that this feature is specific to client mode only. Let's get started demo. As mentioned, I have simulated Modbus TCP using Modbus Monitor XPF in server mode. To simulate the client mode, you'll need to use another instance of the same application. Let's set up the server by starting fresh. We'll add one holding register and then start the server. Next, let's set up the client. We'll delete all existing monitoring points and add one holding register that will be used to validate the value of the server. Click on the extension button to see more options. Enable the Evaluate option, set your limits, and associate colors. Then, start the clients. Now, set a value of 10 or 0 on the server. You'll notice that the client highlights the cell in green since the value falls within the nominal range. We'll discuss in great detail how these limits work toward the end of this video. Try setting the value above 100 and observe that the cell is highlighted with the color chosen for the high region. Similarly, if you set the value below -100, the cell is highlighted in blue. Now, let's evaluate the string data type. We'll change the holding register from integer 16 to string type. The string type will hold 2 characters in one Modbus register. We'll remove the unused extra monitor point for now and change the client data type to string to match the server, leaving other settings as defaults. Change the low and high limits to AB and XY as strings to show nominal values. Now, the value will be highlighted with a nominal color whenever the server sets these strings to limits. The high limit color is shown anytime the string does not equal the string set in the high or limit fields. Stick around to understand a more in-depth description of how limit colors work in Modbus Monitor XPF. This option can be used to check device configuration. Next, we'll discuss filtering these limits so you can only view the registers that are either nominal or out of range. This is handy when you have hundreds or thousands of points and want to see the register based on your validation limits. The filter makes this a snap and visually sees only registers of interest to help you troubleshoot your system faster. We'll use a Modbus map with more than 300 points to show the best use of the Evaluate filter. You can download this file from the web using web files if you want to follow along. I will pick a few points of interest and then mark them with 123 to make setting a value on those points easy. This allows me to use the filter to quickly find points instead of scrolling up and down. Note that this filter differs from the Evaluate filter, which we will discuss next. Let's set the sample valid range from -100 to 300 for the device volts rating point. Set the valid range between -100 and 1000 for topology and ground fault as -1 and 1 for bit type. Now set the Evaluate filter to filter monitor points with nominal range values. The Auto button auto-evaluates the filter after the completion of every scan. For example, the list is automatically updated after every scan to find values that fall in the nominal and high limits range. The auto feature is handy to alarm you when any monitor points in your list match Evaluate limits. This can be very helpful when troubleshooting a device that is going bad in your system or informing you when the system is out of range. That completes our live demo on using the Evaluate filter. Good job if you're still here and want to learn more. The following section will cover some background on how limits can be set and how the Modbus Monitor XPF application evaluates them. This will help you understand limits and use the feature to your advantage. Let's do a quick review on how limits and colors are evaluated in the Modbus Monitor XPF program. There are two limits, with its own color. The color of the value changes based on the low and high limits set. The value can be numerical or text and works as follows. Let's assume the limits are set as -100 as low limit and 100 as high limit for the integer data type. Let's assume the pulled value comes back as 0. This value is validated in the nominal range since it falls between low limit and high limit. The value is highlighted with color from the nominal region as green. Similarly, when the value is 150, for example, it is decorated with high limit color value. When the value is at or below low limit threshold, it is decorated with blue color. When the data type is set as string, the nominal color shows up when the string matches either low limit or high limit values. In our case, the value will be decorated as green when value matches low limit BA. The value also is shown as nominal if it matches high limit XY. In this video, we start by setting up the server and client, adding a holding register. We then enable the evaluate option, set limits, and associate colors. We show how the client highlights the cell in different colors based on the value set on the server, indicating whether the value falls within the nominal range or outside it. We also demonstrate how to evaluate the string data type and how to set low and high limits for it. The video further discusses the use of filters to view only the registers that are either nominal or out of range, which is particularly useful when dealing with hundreds or thousands of points. Finally, we explain how the evaluate filter works, how it updates after every scan, and how it can be used to alert you when any monitor points in your list match evaluate limits. The video concludes with some background on how limits can be set and how the Modbus Monitor XPF application evaluates. You can download the trial version of the application either by contacting us or from Windows Store. Check out my other videos on installing using the Modbus Monitor XPF application. If you want to see more videos like these in the future, please consider subscribing. Alright, this is all I have you for today.